Hello, this is Dr. David Edward Poon, founder of the Faces of Advocacy. We are not asking for open borders. We are just asking to be together. We're going to try something new. We have our good friend Jordan Evans here today, who has experienced the Canadian hotel quarantine. And she is not one of our members of our legal charter challenge to the Government of Canada. And so we're here to talk freely about how the quarantine hotels have been going, how it could have been better, and how does it make us feel. So we really thank Jordan for joining us today. She's coming in from Montreal. Jordan, can you please let people know your experience?
Well, coming into Canada multiple times, I've been here a lot. I've been with my partner for 3 years now, and this is the first time that I've come here, and I felt very unwelcomed. I felt almost like a criminal in a way, because not only did, the airport experience change a lot, but I was hounded with questions at the customs because typically, it takes like not even 10 minutes to get through, even with a long line. They'll literally just like look at your passport, like you're good to go. This time they made me feel like I did something wrong just coming to reunite with my partner. And, going through the hotel or the airport itself was just very complicated. They have you going through like a linear line, going through to just even figure out what you're doing. So, they won't let you leave without taking a test, which, prior I had to have a test coming onto the plane. So I'm already tested negative. They're making me test again, not even 24 hours, or whatever, 72 hours before my last one. So that itself was just a little much. Um, and then they give you an at-home kit test to take with you into your, quarantine. I get escorted to the hotel, which, going to the hotel looked like a normal one. It was just from the outside, there was nothing spectacular about it. It wasn't, it was just a normal hotel, but checking in, I was informed, you can't leave your room under any circumstance whatsoever. And then I had a choice to pick a certain meal that I wanted for dinner. Well, I chose from what sounded the best. And whenever, I actually got to my room, first, when I walked in, there was dirty laundry outside of my room. So it literally looked like someone had just left, which that made me feel uneasy anyway. And I will mind you, I had not seen any security whatsoever on the premises anywhere. And when I got in my room, I inspected it. Everything looked like a normal room, but I actually looked at it and it wasn't cleaned properly. I found actual human pubic hair on my counter and in my shower. It was the most disgusting thing. Like, if they're going to make you spend more money to sanitize and to clean properly, you shouldn't even find that in a normal hotel room, let alone one that's supposed to be sanitized for, me being the quarantine traveler. So that itself was just, disgusting. But then I didn't even get a meal or food or a beverage for that matter, because I had bought water before I went into my room, and my food didn't come until 6 hours after I had been in the room. And it didn't come with a drink. It water, nothing. And luckily I had bought one before, or I wouldn't have had one. And I didn't have a phone in my room. There was not a phone connected to my wall. If I didn't have a cell phone, if I was one of those people that didn't have a cell phone, I would have been screwed, because you can't leave your room, no phone. Like, what do you do with an emergency? And then the food I got, it was cold. It was not what I had ordered previously. And like I said, it didn't come with a beverage. So I felt very like, I almost felt like they were treating me like I was a criminal because I'm coming here to quarantine and not like a normal traveler. They're already charging me 3 times the price of a normal person, but I'm getting treated like like someone in jail. So it was just awful, a horrible experience. And luckily I got my COVID results, the negative results, 8 hours after I was there. So I spent a total time of 18 hours in that room, and I left the next morning to go into my current place of quarantine, safely in my apartment. And I ended up, you know, not getting a refund. They wouldn't give me my money back after 18 hours. And then they charged me an additional $304 on top of what I had already spent of the $1,100 on checkout. I asked for an itemized receipt and they could not tell me what those charges were for. So I ended up having to dispute it with my credit card company. Um, and on top of all that, I got two officer checks in quarantine within my 14 days at my home. And then I also got 3 phone calls. And I had to take my test, my at-home test kit on the 10th day, which I did everything right. They came and picked it up on Monday on the 8th. I have still yet to hear anything. And today is my 15th day of quarantine. So they are trying to make me sit here in quarantine for longer when I haven't seen my partner in, weeks. And they're trying to make me sit here longer now when I can't even leave. And it's day 15 and I can't get anyone on the phone to talk to anybody. So it's just really frustrating because, what are we supposed to do? And they literally updated the website secretly saying you have to stay in quarantine until you get your results. Yet nobody can get results. So it sucks. I won't lie.
This is
But yeah.
terrible. I know. I'm so sorry, Jordan. And I'm sure everyone watching right now feels their heart going out to you right now. So you come in, you have no water, there are pubic hairs, it's dirty laundry outside, the food is cold and not what you ordered. And for all of that, you get the luxury of staying for 18 hours at the cost of $300 more than you expected, at a total of $1,400. Is that about correct? And then following that, and this is new for a lot of people, it's supposed to be a 14-day self-isolation, but now it's, and this I didn't realize, you were not called back with your result. And so now this is extending. Now this has been a problem because there's very little communication. A lot of it has to do with the federal mandate being different than the provincial mandate, but that's a really big problem. I didn't realize that. Gosh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry. It's okay. I didn't either until I literally have been following up on Facebook, the Facebook group, and seeing a bunch of people's experience, and they're in the same boat as me. Like, we are sitting here, waiting on a result from our at-home test that we still don't know when we're going to get. And you can't get anyone on the phone because you try calling and the phone just rings or it's a busy signal. And some people have been waiting, for like hours to even talk to a nurse to walk them through the COVID test themselves, which luckily I didn't have that issue, but I'm having the issue of getting my results.
Right. Of course, you can't leave. This is very upsetting. And I hope that this will give some visibility to that problem. What would you say is the thing that you wish was most improved? You've talked about feeling like a criminal as soon as you land. You've talked about the procedure of the hotel. What's the one thing in your heart that you wish was just better? Because we want people safe from COVID, but what could have been better?
I mean, it just comes down to the compassion standpoint, like putting yourself in, our shoes. Like, we're trying to do is reunite with our loved ones. We're not trying to, say, hey, take the borders down, or, open the borders to everybody. We're literally doing everything safe. Do you think I would spend thousands of dollars coming to Canada, take 3 PCR tests, and then spend thousands of dollars on a hotel if I wasn't taking it seriously?
Correct.
Like, come on, guys. I'm literally doing everything that I am supposed to do. I'm getting backlash for it because I'm traveling during a pandemic. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm safer than half of these travelers that don't give a shit about anything. So I just want them to really, like, try to see my point of view and see what we go through, because I guarantee if they had to do it, they wouldn't be doing it.
You've done a remarkable job staying in quarantine, going through the testing, and already in a place where there's no phone line to call anyone. And now they're even keeping you longer, which is, you're holding up your end of the bargain, but is the other side holding up their end of the bargain? So all in all, if you had one message to tell the government right now, if you were to tell them how you feel, what would you say to them right now?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm really heartbroken because I love Canada. I've loved coming here for years. I've never once felt the way that I do about coming here. And I just, I don't like having that outlook on feeling like scared to come somewhere. I've literally always said, like, I love coming here more than I love being in the US because, one, my partner's here, but it's just everyone's always been so friendly. But lately, this entire process has been so miserable and it gives you so much anxiety. Like, I have enough anxiety on my own. I don't need it from the government too. So, you know, I've always said everything lovely, like good comments about everything in Canada, but lately it's been awful. It breaks my heart how they're treating people, and I understand they're trying to, you know, slow the spread or whatever, but travelers are what, less than 2% of the transmission, and they have no statistics on it being higher than that. So if, you know, it's just that's what I would say.
Yes, no, you're correct. I mean, I love Canada too, but I do not love this rollout. So for those
Mhm.
watching, the statistics are the epidemiological summary from the from the Public Health Agency of Canada. So what it is, there are two numbers that are important to know. And this is not for you, Jordan, this is for anyone watching.
It's okay.
Yes, domestic transmission of COVID from a traveler. So that means if you're in Canada and you meet someone who's a traveler, the chance that is 0.8% of domestic transmission. That means 99% of it is coming from people who've never left Canada. So that includes schools, grocery stores, taking the subway or something. So that's already one part. The second number to take note of is 1% of Canadians people coming into Canada have COVID. So if there are 100 people on a plane, one person would have COVID. So that's where a lot of people come with this 2% number from. What's more concerning right now, as of today, March the 11th, the government of Canada has not produced evidence that home quarantine, like Jordan is doing properly right now, is worse than hotel quarantine. So yesterday, when the Honorable Minister Haidu was asked this question, she responded with the data is incomplete. So all this suffering that Jordan is going through right now, just to be with her family, is based on incomplete data and the assumption, like she says at the start, that she's going to break the rules or that she's a criminal. And this has not been proper at all. Jordan, thank you so much for sharing. Do you have any last word before we close out?
Honestly, I kind of wanted to add something. I talked to one of the hotels, the management, because they followed up with me because they were upset about my experience that I had let them know about. And they honestly used Trudeau as a scapegoat, basically blaming him for why they're charging me what they're charging me. Whenever Patty clearly stated on her live that it is up to the hotel's discretion to charge whatever they want to, you know, taxes and fees and all that. Well, I told them that, and I said that they're using him as a scapegoat, and that it is a scam to charge a traveler that much whenever, you know, they don't have to do it, they're doing it because that's what they can do. So that's just something I wanted to add, because I talked to them and they were literally using him as a scapegoat.
It's very difficult for us to improve the system if no one will tell us who the one in charge is. Thank you, Jordan Evans, for being here, for sharing your story, for helping Canadians right now. To anyone feeling lost, disenfranchised, and forgotten, join us in the campaign at the Faces of Advocacy. We are at facesofadvocacy.com, or find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Faces of Advocacy. We are not asking for open borders. We are just asking to be together. My name is David Poon, and we'll say goodbye in 3, 2, 1.